Welcome, everyone, to the Minions of the Zoo. It's the Tuesday edition. I'm your keeper, Skep, Tock, and with me I have Minions Blind Press.
Hi, everyone.
Prospero.
Hello.
And the Harry Channel.
Good evening.
It is so nice to be with all of you this evening. I'm just pleased to be alive and living in this amazing time. I feel like the old Kingston Trio song, they're rioting in Africa, they're starving in Spain, there's hurricanes in Florida, and Texas needs rain. A lot going on all over the world. The world is festering with unhappy souls. The French hate the Germans hate the Poles, South Africans hate the Dutch, and I don't like anybody very much.
Yeah.
We can be tranquil and thankful and proud because man's been endowed with a mushroom-shaped cloud, and you can be certain that some lovely day someone will set the spark off and we will all be blown away. So, all right, homage to the Kingston Trio over this evening. I hope all three of you are well. What did you do today for fun, Blind Press?
Today, I went out in the ridiculously January-like cold that is happening today on April goddamn 19th.
Awful, isn't it?
Oh my god!
It is Canada.
It's all the way down here. I mean,
it's the Michigan part, but it's still Canada.
It's not even April 1st. It's almost over. This shit is bullshit. Anyway, so I went and just reviewed the route. I've learned how to get to the gym. Hello, welcome back, honey. I've learned how to get to the gym and was reviewing that route today because the parking lot is a bit of a. It's kind of the way I have to go. It's kind of like a.
Are you driving again?
No, I'm not driving, but I have to walk through the gym is at the back of the lot. Mm-hmm. So the path I have to take, it's kind of like a large, you're gonna laugh at me, Z. Or Z as you Americans say.
Or Z as we say in the States.
So my instructor just wanted to make sure I had that, that route through the parking lot memorized. So we did that today. And then I came home and I did my actual workout. And tonight I discovered the joys of 20 minutes of yoga and then sitting in a bath full of THC and CBD. So that was awesome. I can't feel anything right now.
You were in a bath full of THC?
Yeah, so the dispensary I go to gets bath bombs.
This is a thing?
Yes, there are.
Don't trick the old guy. That's not fun. It's like throwing the handicap down and flying upstairs.
The bath bombs that I get have the equivalent of 8 grams of cannabis flower.
Shut the fuck up.
And, no.
Are you kidding me?
I'm in a 1/4 ounce of marijuana in my bath. And the bath bomb I got was 137 milligrams of CBD and 140 milligrams of THC. So you just soak in that for like an hour and a half.
Okay.
And I also had
all right. I have questions.
Yes.
Does this get you loaded?
It definitely makes it so you cannot feel your aching muscles and
No. Does this get you high like smoking dope? Yes or
no? It doesn't get you high like smoking dope, but it definitely you definitely feel it. Like it's not.
Because I'm not seeing a way for the THC. Tetrahydrocannabinol is almost completely insoluble in water.
Yeah, no.
I can't see how it could deliver it.
It's. I guess it's like a bath oil at that point.
More like a piece of granite sitting in a tub.
Yeah.
You don't get much granite. Not much granite dissolves into the tub unless you leave it in the tub for a few 100 million years.
Well, I don't know how it worked, but it
That's amazing.
definitely-
I had no idea this existed. You were just
It-
opening up new vistas for me, Blind Press. Thank you.
Yeah, it actually
Because
like
now I want to try it.
freaking it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't get you like
Are you trying to explain how the bath bomb works?
yes.
It's the same way that topical ointments do. Your body absorbs it differently. It's just like as if you eat versus smoke. It's all
How does it absorb it?
no different than if you put Bengay on.
So it's like it would go through your pores, I guess. The cannabinoid
Transdermal.
transdermal, yeah, because it would just sit in the water as oil, and then
Well, see, the problem is
water.
the thing I don't understand is I don't understand how it gets dissolved into the water to where it can. It seems like it would float like a thick oil on
it
top
does,
of the water.
and then it goes onto your skin. And
That's what's going on. Okay,
Yeah,
I get it now.
topical. It's you're literally it's like
So it's not dissolving in the water.
No,
It
it's
floats
like
on
a
top of the
bath oil.
water, and okay.
Yeah, it's a bath oil that
makes sense.
it comes onto your goes onto your skin, but it doesn't. It's not like a horrible residue. Actually, it's very pleasant, and they usually put softer like lavender stuff along with it, so it's not.
No, THC is not a
No.
wonderful smelling chemical. It smells like a petroleum plant, really.
So
if you want to know
the bombs that I get, because they use like a lavender as well, it kind of smells minty. It's very it's very soft smelling. And Pincalo also found me a nice bag of bath salts at the drugstore that has like
so you're smoking those?
no.
Oh,
I'm putting them in the bath as well, and it has like
okay.
coconut oil and hemp seed oil, and so it's a nice little concoction to soak in for an hour and a half to 2 hours, especially if your muscles hurt.
Wow, that just sounds wonderful. I've got to see if it's available down here. I'm sure it's not. There's no way that it
No,
can.
it sounds like fun. So Texas said no.
Yeah, Texas, boy, the Baptists are the Baptist is strong in that one. Yeah, that's for sure. Prospero, how was your day?
It was fine.
You've got a lot of exciting things happening.
It was more peaceful than yesterday, which was trying to make some order out of the chaos that this house is. But we had a realtor come by today, shopping personally.
Oh,
so that's interesting.
You are shopping, or they are shopping?
They are shopping. We already have a.
Oh, so they're shopping for clients.
They're shopping for a house.
Inventory.
Oh.
Yeah, right. They want to buy this.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
They're interested in it personally. You know, I had some skepticism about that initially when it was expressed that they wanted to look at the house for their own purchase, because both he and she are realtors, and but they have been looking in the area, and they most definitely did look at one of the houses in the area because of how they described parts of the house, because I had been in that house many, many times. But they've sold the house next door.
Yeah.
Their firm was the one that handled the house next door to that. So they were quite familiar with the area. They don't live all that far away, but they are looking for. They thought the house was one story only from the street because you can't see the shed dormer.
Oh.
But the upstairs bedrooms would to them be precisely what they are to us. Guest bedrooms that you don't have to do anything with for months on end if you don't have any company.
Is your house like gabled type almost?
Well, what it is the roof comes up, and just below the crest of the roof is where the shed dormer extends out.
Okay.
And the shed dormer is made up of 2 bedrooms and a bath, and part of the attic, I guess, would be, but really it's not. It's mainly those 2 bedrooms and the bath that are the shed dormer. And attached to the shed dormer is part of the roof line of the addition that was put on. They kind of married it all together.
Gotcha.
But you cannot see that from the street. I mean, you'd have to come in the driveway next door to get an idea that we had a shed dormer on the back. So it looks like a traditional ranch from the street. And they were looking for single story living. They may have
do you have a finished attic? Is that what it is, or is that a true second story?
It's not a finished attic. It's a true second story. It's a cantilevered shed dormer.
Well, I know what a cantilever shed dormer is, and typically those are, when you want to make use of attic space, but because
this is an open
attic, this expands the room.
Yeah, this is an open foyer, 2-story foyer in this house.
Okay.
The stairs curve up the outside wall.
Oh, okay.
And there's an open landing at the top, and then the 2 bedrooms.
So one ceiling over 2 stories, basically.
It slants down.
At least part of the way. I got it. I get the picture. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. Well, anyway, so you had you had an interesting day with the people showing some interest in your house. I was reading about realtors who are buying up properties right now. People who can get their hands on money think that there's going to be just a little bit of a pause, and that the bubble's not going to burst. The places that are expanding are going to continue to expand, and it's mostly in the South.
Because it's not, it's being called a bubble, but it's not a bubble like the 2008 bubble at all. This is not
a bubble.
This is a short inventory shortage. It's a demand outstripping inventory. Now, the inventory shortage.
Well, do you know what's about to happen, right? Interest rates are about to go to the moon, and we really are going to get a substantial increase in interest rates. So the people who have access to the money and want to acquire property right now, and that's many people, especially in the South, are doing everything they can to buy houses. This is a great seller's market right now. I was reading about it today in just a couple of articles that I read. They have people going around buying, they get a pot of money, and then they just have 5 or 6 houses. They make bids on all of them, and whichever one gets accepted, that's where the money goes. They're being very aggressive about the houses they're buying right now.
No, I've been living it for the last 18 months, 2 years, because the market around here, particularly where we live in the city, the longest I've seen a house before it went pending was maybe 9 days.
Yeah.
A lot of them are going pending. A lot of them are going pending the day they're listed.
Yep. Same here. They'll go up. They'll be like, coming soon, and then it won't even go. It won't even show for sale. It'll go coming soon, sold.
But you can wait for your number too with your situation. You get to sit back and just let the offers come in
to some extent. Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of what the house varying appraisals afar, that have people who, of course, have not been in the house. It's the guesstimates that are done by Realtor.com and Reddit and Zillow and all of those, based on the neighborhood and all the other kind of things that are going on. And I know what the houses out here have been going for, and roughly what the square footage dollar balance is. It's a little ridiculous. A house I think I sent you a picture of it, Skep. Very modern house. Went on the market for $899,000 on the street behind, in front of us, kind of other side, and it sold within 2 days.
Our houses.
I cannot believe anybody bought that thing for that amount of money.
Yeah.
Are houses selling at asking, or are they going?
There are bidding wars going on.
That's what's happening here, because they'll price it at a semi-reasonable price.
Yes.
And then it will still sell for $200,000-$300,000 over.
Now, most of ours aren't going by that much over. They're going between 2 and 7% over asking price, because most of them have been priced pretty close to their worth. Right. The house 2 doors down from us went on the market and sold for because there were a number of bids that came in, and of course people were like, raise it 3,000, raise it 3,000, that kind of thing. It sold for about 40,000 more than they were asking, and they were already asking high fives.
Okay.
And for this market in particular, that's a little rich. It's amazing what some of these things are doing. This house. Well, I've never seen. There's no house in this neighborhood that has ever gone on the market for what that modern went on the market for, ever.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, in balance.
If it makes you feel better, the dollars are worth less.
Oh, I know they are, but in balance to, let's say, what real estate values were, to be that high in this neighborhood, nah. You know, and
be high in that neighborhood.
Well, I think the person that used to have that house as their property was selling the things that make you high. At least that's what I was told by somebody who serviced their house. And then all of a sudden the house went on the market. So I don't know whether someone got arrested or not. It would be so sad. But anyway, big doings, all that kind of hoo-ha. And then tomorrow we go for our pre-drywall inspection, which is going to be interesting because there are some issues that need addressing.
Watch for hidden junction boxes.
Oh no, we've already been over the house pretty thoroughly, and there's one thing that I'm going to start off very, very nice, because it's going to be very early in the morning, and you don't want to be unkind to people too early in the day.
No,
but if I get pushback on one of the things that I want changed, I'm going to kick a shit. Because it's ridiculous what they've done. They have run our dryer vent up into the roof.
No, they didn't. No, they did not.
Yes, they did. And
that's not how that works. That's not how any of that works.
It is permissible by home inspection. It is permissible.
Don't care.
When it is the only path that is short.
But
this is the longest possible path they could have taken. Up through the attic. They don't even have it wrapped with insulation, which you have to do if you run it through an unconditioned space. Because I don't know, hot air generates what? Water vapor? Yeah. And this is the weather side of the house they aimed it out of.
The problem is that you're going to have lint accumulate everywhere there is anything close to a crease or a wrinkle or anything. And you will have hot gases that will go up there, dry that stuff out, and eventually it will catch fire. No, that is unacceptable. You cannot have.
Oh, that's why. That's why I'm telling them.
That's not happening.
You can only run a dryer vent 40 feet.
Yeah.
And any 90-degree turn counts as 10 feet.
Okay.
Any turn, no, counts as 5 feet. Okay. Any bend, like
3 feet,
is 2.5 feet.
Yeah,
they took it all the way up to the fucking ceiling.
I've done this too. Yeah.
They could have run it. Our house is only 42 feet wide. The laundry room's in the middle. Do the fucking math, asshole.
Is your house a 2-story? Your new house a ranch or a bungalow or a?
This is on the top floor. It's a walkout basement.
Okay.
So
So
They could have taken it out the side in an event, no problem.
but the laundry room is in the basement.
No, laundry room is on the main floor.
Okay, but still, it's ridiculously far from where the vent is. It's
Yes.
that's stupid.
Wait, this house has 9-foot ceilings to begin with, okay?
God. Oh,
And then you have a pretty steep A on the form of what would be attic if they were going to floor that.
How many 220 sockets do you have in the house? Because if you're going to put that dryer someplace else, you got to have 220 going to it.
Yeah, I know, and they can't really put it anyplace else. This is an integral part of the plan.
No, okay.
Then they need to.
They're not moving
They're
this.
you're going to have to figure out a solution.
Oh yeah, there's a nice tidy little hole over the kitchen window, and you can lift that HVAC up out of the way.
One thing you could do is, we used to do this when I was a kid, was just run lines, between poles out in the backyard and just use clothes.
Yeah,
pins
no.
and bend the clothes up to dry that way.
No,
that doesn't
No.
work in the winter.
no,
Yeah.
no. I don't. This isn't Florida. My mother did that some in Florida,
Yeah.
Doesn't
You
work
can't-
all the time in Florida either.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
it rains a lot in Florida.
Yeah.
Most parts of Florida it does.
Oh no,
anyway.
the first crumble of thunder, and everybody was racing out the back door into their yards. The wife of a man and my dad worked with was killed removing a neighbor's laundry from
Shit!
a clothes. Yeah, she was struck by lightning,
Oh,
That's
and
terrifying.
the tree that the clothesline was attached to was struck by
Wow.
lightning. It shot down the line, blew her
Yeah.
50 feet out of her shoes.
Jesus.
Right, and her dad was on the porch and saw the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh.
It was one of those stories that I was told when I was 5 years old. I was scared shitless of thunderstorms until I reached about 14 or 15.
Have you ever had a bolt of lightning strike the ground 30 feet from where you're standing?
No, I've not.
I have. And let me just tell you something. It scares the shit out of you. It is so loud. It is so blinding. And the blue light flash that stays in your field of vision for the next 3 days, I shit you not. It is absolutely one of the scariest things I have ever experienced. And I was inside my truck.
Oh,
I was driving home on a local freeway here in Texas. And all of a sudden I felt something. It felt like there were pins and needles all over my face. And then there was an explosion. I thought it hit my truck. You can feel the electricity. That's the other thing, is you feel the charge of electricity. You are in a big electric field, big goddamn field. And you feel the energy in that. And then I realized the thing, I say it was 30 feet away. It might have been 40 feet away, but that's really the kind of number that it was. It struck the top of the hill just as I was approaching the top of the hill. And the other thing I noticed was it threw up gravel all over. It kind of struck the side of the road where an overpass came in. An overpass I was about to go under. And it kind of struck right where the overpass intersected the hill just to my right as I was going up the hill. Anyway, making a long story short, it is absolutely just,
that happened to my uncle.
you don't want to have that happen.
He was actually outside of his vehicle. He was walking to his vehicle when the lightning struck nearby in the same parking lot.
Yeah.
And he actually lost his hearing for about 4 days. He actually thought he was going to be deaf forever because he couldn't.
It absolutely does. It's if I had not been in my truck, I probably would have had something similar. As it was just deafening. It sounded like when I was aboard U.S. Navy destroyer and we were shooting the 6-inchers. The 5-inch guns, actually. That's what it sounded like.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Harry.
It's gonna crap out.
Hey, what?
Anyway, Harry, how are you doing, bud?
Oh, swellerific, man.
Swellerific. I like that.
Did you do anything fun today? Anything
Nope,
interesting? Or
not a damn thing. I did lots of
Yeah.
interesting things, but nothing fun.
lining your pockets with filthy lucre?
What's the difference
Yeah,
between
Good
interesting
lad.
and fun?
my definition of interesting incorporates things that most people would not consider interesting.
But is interesting also fun?
Hey, to me, solving puzzles is fun. So
Yes.
it's fun for me. It's not really fun for anybody else. It's like when
Well,
you have an interesting dream, the number of people who actually want to listen to your dream, to the story of your dream, or at least feign interest is actually fairly limited.
True.
Yeah.
Very
And,
You know-
and as a corollary, you will always overestimate that number.
Yeah, it's like, it's pretty much anybody who stands a chance at getting lucky and a handful of other people that are polite. Maybe in Canada it's a larger number. I don't know, because you guys are all so polite.
Yeah.
That sounds like a real good dream, eh?
Yeah, a lot of us
Goody
will
dream.
just like, no, a lot of us will just go, bud.
Yeah.
Shorten the story, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, just the
So you-
details. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you've
Details,
just been
right,
working too hard, Harry.
Yeah, I'm working on a number of big projects.
Yeah. And
Hey, but I got my taxes at least filed my extensions yesterday, so I'm not a complete loser.
well, yay! Good for you.
Yay.
Filed your extensions. Yay.
Yeah, I filed my extensions. No, my life is extremely busy, but extremely boring. I've been doing some experiments with making bread. Again, slightly more interesting than my dreams. Today, I've been doing experiments by basically heating the sourdough starter after I feed it to try to get it really mellow and relaxed, kind of like BP in her bath. And before I introduce it to the flour and stuff, so it actually skews the growth of the lactobacillus versus the yeast, the wild yeast in the starter. So you end up with bread that tastes more buttery and mellow as opposed to more acidic and sour. And it's weird because when I've given bread to people, almost everybody seems to really like the super sour stuff. The French consider that a mistake. Like San
Right.
Francisco sourdough. That's what happens if you don't know how to make bread in France.
That's
So I try to keep it more balanced.
you're
The
not
French are wrong about nearly everything except bread is one of the things they actually seem to get right.
Yeah, they're pretty good on cheese, actually. If you want
You
to.
might have a good oatmeal chocolate chip muffin recipe, Mary.
I really like English cheese versus French cheese. I know that makes me a Visigoth, but
No.
They have some.
What kind of cheese do you like?
I like a good
kind-
coastal cheddar with nice crystallization in it. Because I can get something like that for $9, $10, $11 a pound, and it's really good.
Are
It
you,
has just...
you talking about a cheddar that squeaks when you eat it?
I haven't noticed the squeak, but you want it to be just dry enough that it starts to crystallize, but not so dry that it doesn't melt on your toast if you shave some on top and throw it under the broiler.
Gotcha. So it's not gritty.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's some Welsh cheddars that are pretty.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you can get California coastal cheddars that are very, very similar and a lot better price.
Why?
Yeah, I don't. The
Picture
Collier isn't too
Stop.
expensive.
That's right.
Much like
All right.
you can get California wines that are very much like some French wines. Oddly enough, at the same latitude. Go figure.
Yeah, and frequently, just are absolutely as high a quality as anything produced in France.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
there are wines from California that will blow your mind. I've spoken with French people and they don't believe me, but that's okay.
Send them a bottle of Stag's Leap.
Send them a bottle of
Take the
Sean
bo-
Thackeray
take the-
Orion.
Just take the
Yeah,
label
yeah.
off.
So many good wineries now.
Orion has grapes. Okay, so Sean Thackeray is a guy who he used to be an astronomer, like a legit astronomer. So all of his wines are named after astronomical things. So he has Orion, Pleiades, Lyra. There's a bunch of different wines that he makes. But he's extremely unconventional. He makes wine more like the way the Romans did. So he uses wild yeast for fermentation. There are grapes in Orion, which is one of his flagship blend, that they can't identify. They don't know what species they are. he has like all this really super old vine stuff that he's just sort of collected, and so he's kind of an artist. So he'll go out, and instead of it just being one kind of grape, he'll mix a bunch of stuff up together in vats underneath the eucalyptus trees with tarps over the top of it, and when it gets the way he likes it, he starts the process of actually bottling it.
I'm looking at his 2016 Sean Thackeray Orion Red Blend Napa Valley for $129.95.
Worth every penny.
That's a blended wine, and he's charging $129.95 for it.
It will readjust your wine compass. It will blow your freaking mind. It is an amazing wine.
Drinking freaking $13, $14 bottles of wine.
Well, I don't drink it all the time. It's like a thing I get for my birthday. I have like one bottle a year.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. No, it's my very favorite wine, easily, hands down.
The Orion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish that there was an actual. I'm sure there is, and if there is, I need to get my hands on it for my birthday. But an actual Chateau Picard wine. I would like to have a bottle of Chateau Picard, just because.
It might be Chateau Picardy, but I'm not sure about Chateau Picard.
No, but we make good wine, and the French make good wine. It's actually totally okay. There's nothing.
Chileans and the Argentinians. And
there's nothing wrong with cheap and cheerful wine from other parts of the country. The problem with wines from other regions is sometimes it's hard to figure out what's good and what's bad.
Yeah.
I think I may have mentioned this before, but there's a white grape from Argentina called Torrontés. And Torrontés is a really nice white wine. It's a beautiful balance of sweetness and astringency, very minerally. It's a nice wine. The trouble is if you get something from a lower altitude when they've had a hotter summer, it tends to get kind of oily and not very nice. And off the top of my head, I don't know the altitude of wineries in Argentina. I can spurg out on things with the best of them, but I'm not at that level.
Do you know I've actually looked at that in Argentina. I was very into Argentinian wines at one time and checked it out. And they have different wineries at different altitudes.
Exactly.
And I don't remember much about the exploration I did as that I quit drinking wine almost 20 years ago, but I remember finding out that, I was expecting to find all the wineries. This was my research. I expected to find all the wineries in one part of Argentina, and they weren't. They were all over the place, which is interesting. So,
yeah.
Southern Ontario has a very big wine presence in the Niagara region.
Yeah, but you'd be limited in terms of what kind of grapes you could grow by climate. That's the thing. There's a lot of places pretty much every place on the planet, with a few exceptions, you can make wine. Yeah. Obviously, Antarctica is out, so let's not get too ridiculous. But you can
ice wine. No.
Well, there's a grape for every place that you want to, where you would want it. You have to basically work with the climate that you're given. There's only so much you can do. Unlike beer. Now, beer responds to temperature and water conditions, and so certain types of yeast will ferment differently at different temperatures, and the composition of the water matters quite a bit.
Yeah,
but with modern chemistry, you can fake it. You can add little bits of sulfates. You can buffer the water. You can change the pH. So you can make, you can go to a microbrewery and get 10 different kinds of beer. If you were just doing things the old-fashioned way, you'd get one. This is the one that works here. Maybe two. And that's not the way it used to be. It would be very kind of hyper-regional. But now with chemistry, you can do that with beer. With wine, you really don't have that luxury. You can grow what you can grow, and you can ship stuff a certain distance, and that's that. So wine, unlike beer, tends to be more hyper-local. Like I said, there's a lot of things I find interesting, which aren't necessarily much fun.
So I'd like to shift gears really quick.
Okay,
I'm
remember,
here.
we still
Oh,
we
right.
still do need to say hello to Jenna.
I didn't hear Jenna come in. Sorry, Jenna.
That's okay.
How
So-
are you?
I've been
How
better.
are you doing,
I've been
Jenna?
worse.
You've been better. You've been worse. Uh-oh.
How's your headache doing, sweetie?
Yeah.
No.
Nah,
That good.
that's
Thinking of taking another shot, not of liquor, although that might help.
Only temporarily.
Maybe Jenna needs the bath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a THC bath.
I have to tell you, I was cracking up on Blind Press trying to explain a bath bomb to you, Skep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That made my day.
I know what a bath bomb is. I just didn't know that you could have them made out of THC.
You can have it made out of anything.
Okay.
Well, it was about the solubility is the thing that
it doesn't matter.
Skep was a little concerned about.
Little orphan bunny bath bomb.
All right, and it's a special treat for tonight, just to show Harry that I know how to fix a computer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do a quick face reveal, and I fixed the camera.
Ooh!
I fixed this goddamn camera. I had to.
How did you fix it?
I had to hand edit the registry. It had 3 dead registry entries that made the computer think that another piece of software had reserved the camera and was using it exclusively.
Is this your
and every time it initialized the camera, it initialized it as in use because of one of these entries.
You know, if you'd use one of the fancy ESA boards, you wouldn't have those IRQ conflicts.
Exactly. If I was using a real operating system, I wouldn't have a hardware abstraction layer.
Was this your onboard camera or a plug-in?
This is the one that's in the laptop. And just to give you a visual description, there's a ravishingly handsome-looking elderly man in one corner of the tableau this evening. Blind Press for your descriptive narrative, so you can know what's going on. All right,
it's not nice to lie to the blind.
Now. And there we are.
So
camera fixed. That was like getting a splinter out of my foot that had been in there for like a month. So anyway,
that sucks.
Enough about that. I should have taken it seriously before today, but I got after it today. So Blind Press, you were saying you wanted to change gears.
I still wanted to tell you what I did with my kids today.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were chilling out. Okay, go ahead.
I mentioned I didn't feel well. Well, that's nothing new, but I sent a good portion of my kids to Kenya.
You did what?
I sent a good portion of my children to Kenya.
Are they doing a mission thingy?
Yeah, they're going to the orphanage, and they haven't been there since COVID hit, so they have work to do there. Gavin wants to build a new fish pond on the other side of the orphanage, but there's a snake issue.
What city in Kenya?
I'd rather not say.
Oh, okay. Will you share that with me? Because
yes,
Brenda does mission work in Kenya also, and I just wonder if they're in roughly the same area. I'll bet they are. But anyway,
probably.
Yeah.
So is this the older children?
Yeah, it's down to Eric. We let the 14-year-olds go with the older kids.
Okay, that's cool.
They have permission to beat them.
Yeah. There you go.
And they're going to work on the school, work on making just do all that stuff, repairs and stuff.
And
how many children did you send to Kenya of yours?
Well, I also sent my daughter-in-law because my son's now married.
Well, I know.
One of my sons are married.
Total, how many is that?
So
it's like 20, 30?
No.
It
was 13 Prospero or 14.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You
hold-
really sent 14 people to Kenya?
Yeah.
That's
Now,
quite a lot of people still.
Jenna, you are so interesting.
well, it's
I
something
know.
they're very,
13,
very.
yeah.
She's counting off my children. It's
No,
something they're very passionate about.
I looked at who you told me was going.
I worried about
no, it's
the
14. You're right because of Lou going.
yeah, my daughter-in-law Lou.
That's awesome. How
She's-
long?
They'll be back eventually.
Eventually.
Are they
Um,
gone for about 2 weeks at a time?
Yeah, they'll be
yeah.
gone for about 2 weeks, maybe a little longer, because who knows? The mask lift was taken off though, and they were so excited about that.
I bet.
I'll bet they were.
And
That
Logan,
was-
and it wasn't being enforced by the airline?
Nope.
Yeah. So they don't have to pretend to eat for the entire trip.
Yeah.
I was worried about Eric and Bryce and the
Yeah.
food and because they have to. It's about 3 different planes they're taking, so
Mhm.
we'll see how that goes. But
It'll
Well,
go.
Awesome. That's a good experience for them, though. Like,
yeah, my oldest 6 have been a couple times.
okay.
So there's no
And-
direct flights from Cape Cod to Kenya?
No, amazingly,
Huh.
not even from Logan to Kenya.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe from Boston to Kenya, you could probably find one to Mombasa.
They'll be in Switzerland for a little bit.
An interesting way
They're
to go.
changing in Zurich, I bet, aren't they?
Yep.
That's the big changer. I've flown out of there a few times.
But yeah, it's nice knowing you.
That is
Enjoy. Don't go
Yeah.
to the snake pit till the snakes are dead, please.
right.
Yeah. Eek.
Take your pet mongoose with you.
Speaking of snakes, has anyone been watching the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial?
Nicely done. Oh, is this about 2 unstable but yet relatively talented Hollywood actors who take themselves
No,
way too
this
seriously?
is about
Or is this about the psychopath woman who hits her husband?
this is about the psychopath woman who hits her husband.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
And Johnny took the stand today. I don't think he's finished. I think he'll be going some more tomorrow. Because his team, because he's the one suing Amber.
Good.
What is he suing her for?
Defamation.
Okay, so he's launched a defamation suit,
Yeah.
so he's got to prove malicious intent, right? Right,
Uh,
Prospero, because intent's an element.
Yeah, but if he's got those tapes as evidence,
Yeah.
I think also the Washington Post is involved in the defamation suit.
good.
Well, it's being held in Virginia
Uh-huh.
because that's where the article, I guess, was.
Where the printing was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the testimony is being viewed as video deposition from
Mhm.
and that's kind of a slog
Yeah.
to get through video depo after video depo.
Mhm.
There have been a couple of live witnesses that were really, really good for Johnny, really good for him. There was one who was a high school friend who was saying, that even in the beginning, he got along with Amber, until Amber, he said outright, because on cross, the lawyer asked an open-ended question. Amber's lawyer asked an open-ended question. And this guy was like, everything was fine till she lied about this. And she ruined a whole bunch of people's lives. She ruined Johnny's life. He just went off. there was their couples counselor who had testified as well, who actually has it in her notes that says Amber admits to hitting Johnny first.
Well,
As
let me ask you a
member
question, Blind Press.
Oh, okay.
I have a question about this. Do you think Amber Heard is all there, or do you think she's a crazy lady?
I think she is, from the way that I've been hearing the characterizations of her from her personal assistant, from the couples counselor, and from the descriptions of how she showed up to court last week, the way she was dressed. I think she's at the very least bipolar,
Mm-hmm.
but I think she knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she's.
So you think she's a sociopath?
I do.
Mhm.
I think.
Wow. Just completely narcissistic. I'm sorry, Prospero. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say I'd listened to part of the tapes.
Mhm.
I had to stop because it was so difficult to listen to the sociopath changing character when they're not getting what they want in the character they're in and doing it seamlessly.
Yeah.
It was, she went from screeching and screaming to cooing and cajoling.
Yeah.
And then right the minute he was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
She flipped her. I'm going to ruin you. Straight to the, I'm not getting it. It's like he had finally found out that she was a sociopath, that the penny had finally dropped in Johnny's head, that the person he was trying to help
was unhelpable.
It was so malicious what came out of that woman's mouth. And the malice, the hate. It was, if she had broken into Satan's voice coming out of Reagan,
yeah,
I wouldn't have been the least bit surprised. I'm not kidding you. It was like you could smell brimstone listening to the audio.
Well, and today when Johnny was testifying, his lawyer was giving some preliminary, background stuff out of him. So he started talking about how his mother was incredibly abusive and incredibly mentally ill.
He said his father was a calm man who patiently endured his wife's violent streak and outburst. It was from him Depp suggested that he witnessed how a man could control his own temper, even in extremely volatile situations, even with a whack job like my ex-wife, he said. Well, he didn't say that, but that's what I would have said.
Yeah, so Depp testified today that his mother would be convinced that he had done something wrong and then would convince Depp's father to beat him with a belt. And Depp's father, Depp testified that he had never seen his dad hit his mother. The only thing he had ever seen his dad hit was he punched a wall once because he was just...
All right, so this is all going to testify to Depp's patience with Amber.
Not just patience, but his conditioning to abusive women.
Right.
Because
good point.
Depp's mother figured in his life until she died. He could not cut the ties with her. He moved her out. He bought her a house. He paid for her life until she died. And that's
what we do with parents who abuse us, unfortunately.
Oh, well, yeah. But this goes to show his conditioning to abusive women. And
no telling what kind of household she grew up in point of fact.
And why he stayed with Amber. That's what his lawyer's trying to go through. why a man like Johnny would have stayed with somebody like Amber. Well, look at his mom.
Well,
I
also,
wanted to point an interesting thing out about this suit, and I thought Prospero might be interested in this. Depp is seeking $50 million in compensatory damages. That's what he wants in compensatory.
Yeah.
But the punitive award that he wants is at least $350,000, along with attorney's fees and court costs. So I think he knows that 50 million, there's nothing that's going to have. That's just saying I'm mad. You're not going to get anything close to that.
He
Right.
wants
But
the story.
I think the $350,000, he thinks he can get that. I believe that's why that number's there. I'll bet that's pretty well substantiated.
that, and he may be trying to stay within bounds of
That's a good thought. I
prior
didn't think of that.
findings of the court, and not.
Probably. He's looked at precedent cases. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
My guess is his attorneys came up with that number, and
You're absolutely right.
his agent and accountant came up with the first because of roles lost due to her defamatory.
Yeah, she got
Probably
fired
came
'cause-
straight
she
from
got
the
fired
agent.
because of her.
Yeah,
Well, and accountant. I mean, it's got
$50 million at least.
Johnny has been persona non grata.
yeah, he's been
Hollywood.
blackballed in Hollywood.
He
Because
probably
of-
can show diminished earnings, don't you think?
Oh, I'm sure that's going to be part of it. And the fact that he just recently got fired from a film because of her.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I mean, her malice is bottomless. I mean, that she's still on this shit is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's
No.
the control thing. And the, I'm at the point, it doesn't matter to me that she has bipolar. Okay.
No.
It doesn't matter
No.
to me. It's okay. You've got diabetes of the brain. Are you taking medication or not?
Manage your shit.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're also malignant beyond the application of that word. If anybody wants to hear the voice of evil as how sociopaths present themselves, outside of listening to Ted Bundy being interviewed, Amber Heard's a great example.
Agree. Very much.
Wow.
Absolutely great example. And the character shifts were eerie. I mean, yeah, she might have a psychiatric diagnosis underlying this, but a lot of it just stank of malignant narcissism. She's just a see you next Tuesday.
Well, today's testimony, Johnny told a quick story where it was he was talking about things that in hindsight were red flags to him.
Yeah.
And where even back in the beginning he did end up taking a bit of a pause, but he kind of ignored it.
Yes.
And one story was, there was a routine that she kind of set up with him where he would come home, he would sit him down, get him wine, and take his boots off. And then one day he came home and I guess she was busy. So, being independent, an independent adult and not an asshole, he sat down and took his own boots off. And she got mad at him.
He was supposed to sit like an obedient child.
What are you doing? What did you just do? I took my.
Did
boots
he let
off.
his children around her?
Unfortunately, yeah, he had. Oh, that was another brilliant bit of testimony. There was some testimony from somebody who was telling the court how great Johnny was with Amber's kid. And he was recounting a time when Johnny, I guess did the kids' makeup, looked like Jack Sparrow and everything like that. And apparently, according to the commentary I was watching, when this testimony was going on, you could see Johnny was actually he was smiling, you could see him remembering that moment with his stepson, and how much fun he had, dressing his stepson up like Captain Jack Sparrow, and like it was great. It was brilliant. Like,
if you don't think she didn't use those children as levers against him,
oh,
you're thinking
absolutely.
you're thinking very wrong.
Absolutely.
And see, a guy who had an abnormal childhood, anybody who had a very, very abnormal childhood, frequently one of their deepest yearnings is for a normal family.
Yes.
They want the white picket fence. They want mom and dad. I mean, they want father knows.
They think they want that.
They think they want father knows best.
Yeah.
Because that's how they thought all their friends lived.
Yeah.
They don't know what an honest to God functional
What they
family
get is married with children.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
not even like with the actual, because Alan Peg actually like care for
Loved
each
each
other.
Oh no, I
weird.
just
Oh,
meant it was dysfunctional.
Dysfunctional.
I was just having a bit of fun. That's all.
family puts the fun in dysfunctional. I don't know what people mean by functional versus dysfunctional families almost anymore, because everybody's got some story about something that went on at their home that seems odd to other people. Not all other people, but enough other people that they'd be like, really? They did that? Well, just because you didn't experience the same thing doesn't mean that it's that friggin' peculiar.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? I think it's just an wildly overused word.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be imprecise.
No.
But
I know what you meant.
In saying dysfunctional, I was just trying to be generic.
There's nothing father knows best about family. They're real genuine family. I mean, there are moments that might be very Courier and Ivesy and all kinds of Saturday Evening Post illustrations. And then there are all those kinds of goofy moments where you think your parents are completely unhinged and they think you're a retard. I mean, it's just bottom line. There are times when nobody's in sync,
My 8-year-old told me today that I should seek professional help because I like Easter baked beans.
Oh, okay.
What's an Easter baked bean?
It's the baked beans my grandmother makes on Easter. And I'm the only one that loves them. I don't know why I love them, but I do. And so I have them for days after because no one else in the family eats them. And my son looks at me and goes, "You need to see somebody. This isn't normal."
If you've been eating beans for that many days straight, no wonder everybody went to Africa.
Well, I
probably gassed them
on
all
Easter.
out.
I didn't have an Easter because of my migraine. So
she gets to have her beans. Leave her alone.
She can have her beans. I mean, so this is a Jenna family thing, not a Boston thing. Is that correct, or is it a Boston thing?
My grandmother's from Indiana.
Okay. All right.
I've just got this Blazing Saddles thing going through my brain.
All the kids in the house stand up from around the campfire waving their hats. Mom's in the room. Oh, God.
Well, Brian's opinion on it was, you don't let me eat what I like for 3 days in a row. Well, no, I have to make sure you're healthy.
Hey, that's okay. One of my favorite chocolate makers this year, Ferrero Rocher, was a huge recall on all the chocolates for salmonella.
Oh, yay.
Like all the way back to freaking Christmas.
Well, that ship sailed for a lot of people.
For salmonella?
Yeah.
What kind of chocolate are they making?
Well, because a lot of the Ferrero Rocher is milk chocolate and hazelnut. So I guess maybe the machinery they're using wasn't cleaned properly, or
oh boy.
Yeah.
especially
Now,
for Ferrero
you
Rocher,
would
because
sort of expect an egg
snooty.
to be involved if salmonella
Yeah,
is
Mhm.
the suspect organism. I mean, it can come from other stuff, but
they could be using
usually
egg whites
eggs
and
and
For
meat,
egg
something.
whites and then yeah.
eggs and chicken and
Oh,
turtles and
Turtles?
yeah,
nougat,
turtles are absolutely covered in salmonella.
nougat.
Snakes, lots of snakes are covered with salmonella. Lizards are a problem. Frogs, toads.
I was gonna say I can't say what I want to say on air.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Well, hopefully my
Now
children
I've
won't
got
cook
now
the
I've
snake
got that
pit.
Monty Python's Flying Circus like chocolate sketch in my head.
Anthrax Ripple.
Anthrax Ripple.
Spring surprise.
Surprise!
It's the Wizzo quality assortment.
So quality assortment, yes.
Awesome.
God Almighty!
Wizard's chocolate frogs. It's a real chocolate frog. Real
Sora is in
Lightly
Morning
killed.
Over Kinder.
Like
Lamb's bladder cup.
What's that? What?
Sora's in Morning Over Kinder.
Kinder?
No Kinder. And
No
then a crying
Kinder egg.
face. It's
Yeah.
been horrible.
Yeah,
I guess they're made by the same
they were
company.
part of the recall as well. The Kinder eggs. You guys don't have them in the States.
No, we're not allowed because
Apparently your food people think that the toys are like loose rattling around in the chocolate shell without being encased
yes,
in an actual shell inside the chocolate. So they
Well,
think
Canada doesn't even have the real one.
yeah, they actually Mark Stein was stopped, going through border patrol.
Yeah.
And they actually confiscated his children's Kinder eggs.
Yeah.
That they had been given by their grandmère, I think.
Yeah.
Simply because they might choke on them. Of course, they'd eaten copious amounts of Kinder eggs while in Canada, and at no point did these dumb American children choke on anything.
Because the
But
fucking
magically, when they got in New Hampshire, they were going to start to choke.
the Kinder eggs are the toys in a Kinder egg are enclosed in a fucking plastic egg.
Well, our
So
Kinder
you
eggs.
can't eat the fucking toy. You have to eat the shell and then
Yeah, it's not like a king's cake where somebody might actually nail the baby.
right.
It's the dumbest thing, but choking has it. Thank you, Trial Lawyers Association.
Right?
Harry, are you trying to cause me to have a seizure?
It's not a seizure, it's a Pluto flyby. It's not flashing at you.
I'm loving the Pluto flyby. I'm digging it.
Just between the first one and this one and the whiteboard one, you're just trying to kill me. And let me tell you, I'm taking you with me.
She will come back from the grave specifically to take you with her.
I've come back from the dead before.
Yeah.
I was actually wearing my shirt to work out and do a little weeding outside. My shirt said, "It's okay, Pluto. I think you're still a planet, and it's just a little kid consoling Pluto." My grandkids gave me that shirt.
That's awesome.
It's one of my favorite shirts. So even though intellectually I understand why Pluto should not be considered a planet, it's just absolutely indefensible. Emotionally, I'm still on Pluto's side.
I think a lot of people are.
Is the 9th planet. I don't care what you people say. I don't have to like science.
Well, guys, I need
Pluto
to go
deniers.
to bed.
Yeah, no, it was good enough for my second grade teacher. It's good enough for me. You cutting out, Belen Press?
I have to. Yeah, I have to go to bed. I might not. I'll let you know about a coffee stream tomorrow because it's Wednesdays with Skep.
Okay.
My oldest, I can't figure out if he still has a stomach bug or if he's milking it. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, just let me hear from you tomorrow. Let me know what you want to do.
Yeah, I'll do it.
We could also do Thursdays with Skep if
We
you
could.
wanted to instead. So
Good.
we have some flexibility. Whatever works for you, well, that'll work for me.
Yep. And then Saturday, we're going to do a double episode review because of Easter weekend. We had to postpone. So it's going to be episodes 7 and 8 of Picard. And thank Christ things happened in episode 7. Let's
Yes.
see things happen in episode 8.
From
Okay.
your lips to God's ear. That drops tomorrow, I think, right?
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
So very good. All right. Well, you have a wonderful evening, and we will see you in the interwebs.
All right. Have a great night, you guys.
Thanks for coming
Night.
by, hon. We'll see
You
you.
too, BP. Oh, BP,
Mm.
you just had chocolate chips to an oatmeal raisin muffin.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
Wait, what? Did I miss a joke?
Yes. So I tweeted out because I texted my mom, because she's always baked stuff, and I go, hey, do you have a recipe for oatmeal chocolate chip muffins? I really want to start baking my own. And she goes, yeah, just add chocolate chips to oatmeal muffins.
Yeah, an
I'm
oatmeal raisin muffin. Don't use raisins, just use chocolate chips.
I'm like, thanks. I figured
Eat.
that. Do you have a recipe for oatmeal muffins?
Yeah, it's like,
So I put a tweet out. I'm like, in case you're wondering where I get my smart ass attitude from, here's the conversation I just had with my mother.
God, I thought that's so helpful. Thank you.
Right? Just add chocolate chips to oatmeal muffins. No shit.
Ooh, here's how to tell if your kid still has the stomach flu. Offer him some chocolate chips and see how many he eats before.
He ate macaroni and cheese this evening, which he loves. And he had a juice box, which he loves. But then, like 2.5 hours after that, just before bed, he threw it up.
Yeah.
But he didn't throw up his lunch and stuff this after at school. Otherwise, they would have called me and said, "Come and get your kid."
Him running a fever.
He ran a fever on Saturday night, but it broke, which is why I sent him to school today.
But he hasn't run a fever since.
No.
Mm.
Well, Bert's
Yeah.
That's the predicament. That's why we're like, what do we do?
Yeah. I'm guessing he
Like-
might still have the bug because
Because he's the part of the other problem is he's a fast eater and drinker,
oh dear, yeah,
but that would have made him throw up
quicker.
sooner
Yeah.
than it did. Like, yeah,
Was it? Did you say bedtime and then he throw up? Or did,
no, like that's not like him usually. It's like that's what I mean. Like it's not like him to throw up like that. So I'm wondering if he might still be, because he was a bit sniffly too before. So
Mhm.
I'd keep him home.
yeah,
Yep. It's better than him humiliating himself barfing in school.
yeah.
I once threw up on the school nurse.
Oh,
Good.
fun! I've thrown up in school before. It sucks.
No, Flounder, you threw up on the dean.
I even threw up
Good
on
times.
myself in front of my locker in grade 7. That was awesome.
That's spectacular.
Oh,
Like,
it was great.
7th grade isn't
And
already
you know what
bad
was
enough.
even worse? The girls' bathroom was legitimately 5 feet from my locker, and I almost made it. But then I got that dizzy,
Yep.
Yeah.
and I'm like, if I keep trying to walk, I'm gonna like run into something. I need to sit, and then I sat and
Yeah.
all over myself. It was wonderful.
Spiffy.
Tom and Jerry role reversal in the lower right quadrant.
That's for
He's
Sora.
trying to kill me.
She's a rat apologist.
A rat apologist.
Yeah, it's a
rat apologist.
Rat chasing a cat away, scaring the
Oh my
hell out of
goodness,
this
it just
poor
jumped
cat.
over it.
All right, guys. I am gonna go to bed. I will talk to you in the morning, Skep, and let you know what's going on.
All right. I'll look forward to it. You have a good evening, hon. Thanks
You
for
guys
coming by.
Always.
Nate,
Good
Night,
night.
hon.
Good night.
Good night.
that is the scariest rat I've ever seen.
No, the scariest rat was one carrying the full slice of pizza.
Pizza Rat.
No,
It's a rat. That was just like,
Yeah.
oh God.
the scariest rat I've ever seen is John Kerry.
Oh well, yeah, but that I meant the actual
No, sorry.
family Rodentia.
John Kerry.
Well, yeah, John Kerry.
That's an insult to rats.
It is a bit of one, isn't it? They don't they don't skin their knee and run to the medic for a Purple Heart.
I'm the best rat. Take a picture of me. Look how great I am.
Look at the scratch on my
Dad,
knee. Give me another Purple Heart.
Yeah, can I have another Purple Heart, please? Yeah, just go down to the.
He's like the luckiest shiny bar to not get fragged in Vietnam.
Was he the Swift boat guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
what he did, and I have this is like third hand from people who served with him. What he used to do was he would take chances with his crew that he shouldn't take, and when he was, they're you're decked out all over these river boats that they patrolled up and down with. There are people all over the boat. It's actually a fairly sizable craft, and he would go into places and get his boat shot up and just mindless engagements that they had no tactical purpose. We're not in the op order. We're not in the operations order. We're not. He was doing things he wasn't supposed to do, and making sure that they took all the pictures of him. And he got in a couple of engagements that he probably shouldn't have got in, and because he was who he was, he turned it into valor.
Yeah.
Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
this
a
was
little
not
bit like he
unheard of
was
in
JFK without the learning curve.
Yeah,
He had no learning curve.
JFK actually did something.
Kate
Valiant.
swam to islands looking for people to save his crew.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
Well, the thing is JFK also owned up to the fact that the reason the PT boat got shot out from under them was
Pilot error.
Functionally his fault. And that means he scaled the learning curve very, very quickly, and he demonstrated the command qualities in what he did afterward.
Integrity to mission and all that stuff.
And his
really stayed on
his
it.
duty to his crew.
His men, really.
Yeah, I mean, he showed incredible.
Those were
duty
his
to
men,
his
and
crew.
Kerry didn't give a shit about his people.
Of
That's
course
my
not.
point.
They were
was
props
taking them
for
into
him.
fire.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
they were
Yeah.
NPCs as far as he was concerned.
he would have let them all think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to save myself, and no one tried to save me. My crew didn't care I was in command.
Man,
I have no use for
it's a good thing he
useless
was in the
military
part of the
people.
Navy he was in. He would not have lasted with that attitude in the regular Black Shoe Navy, which he was not a part of.
Something terrible, a terrible shipboard accident would have occurred.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Nobody would have known anybody, and no one saw him.
We don't
No
know
one saw
how
him
he
go
got
over the-
tied to the anchor.
No, we don't know. We don't know where he is. That's people ask what man overboard feels like. This is what man overboard feels like. We don't know where he is.
Yeah.
Muster everybody up on deck for quarters. Get all 350 people, except for the people actually doing the running of the ship at that moment, and do a head count and do nose count standing in engineering and figure out where people are. And you'll cut in, you figure out so-and-so is missing and they're just gone. Nobody saw him, since 7:00 last night, and he probably went over the side.
Yeah.
And maybe a suicide, maybe not. And there's not even any point you can. There's no search pattern that you can do. There's
Not at that
no
point,
looking
no.
for him. There's no looking for him. What you'll do as soon as you realize it, you go into the Oscar drill, and start cutting a racetrack turn, and start doing 45 degree offset searches. It's that kind of search technique you do when you're looking for somebody in the water. But it never results. If you're lucky, you'll find a body.
Mm-hmm.
And the ocean is just not a hospitable place to spend very much time. And it's usually, especially where we were, it was too cold. We were so far north. But anywhere is just, somebody like Carrie, obnoxious personality like that in an officer. Those guys occasionally just disappeared back in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
What a shame.
Mm-hmm.
He's a real spring asshole too. The people who served with him, there are too many people who served with him who just hate his guts. That's not normal. He was not a good officer. I'm convinced.
No,
But
they were too vocal, because most people have let it go after all those years, and those guys were like, boy, they had a grudge to bear. That's how shitty he was.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a crap commander. He was deliberately putting them in harm's way with malice
That's
aforethought.
unforgivable.
With malice aforethought.
Sure.
And actually, it's
Some of those guys got
little
hurt. Other people
sociopathic.
actually got wounded in some of these little.
Yeah, and he collected their Purple Hearts for them.
Thoughtful always.
What a prick.
Yeah, he was a prick without our knowing any of this. This just added like that amazing buttercream icing covered in a ganache of prickdom to him.
He didn't send them to the family. He collected them. And
No.
kept them.
I mean, he collected a couple of Purple Hearts for himself off of wounds that were pathetic.
What a prick.
Required a Band-Aid. If it requires a Band-Aid, you don't put in for a Purple Heart. That's just tacky.
Yeah, evidently on the last one, the corpsman asked me, "You going to put in for a Purple Heart for that?" I mean, it really was just a cut on his arm.
Yeah.
Little, that stuff happens on ship.
That's one
all the
step
time.
shy of the guy whose gun accidentally goes off and takes off his little toe getting the Purple Heart. Nothing too serious, just enough to collect that medal.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Jamie did get scraped by a tree on Easter
Yes.
when he was
Yes.
helping somebody find an Easter egg. So
I think you
he
need to
needs
have a
Purple
ceremony. You need
Yeah.
to have a ceremony.
it's not a really bad scrape. It didn't even really bleed. And he's a man, so the fact that he hasn't really bitched about it, it's really not that bad. But he should get at least 3 because
Yes.
it was a tree.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I think you should get the littles, get the construction paper out, cut him out the biggest one they can, and it can be presented to him at dinner.
Yeah. With palm trees, with little
Yes.
palm fronds, because it's an Easter.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Then they can all wear a double oak leaf cluster as their martyr merit badge. Jamie will just be like, "Stop it."
So-
You just know he will.
we just could re-give
I
it.
want
He
that-
does have a Purple Heart. We could just re-give it to him.
I wanted to ask you guys if you had been following some of the stuff that's going on in Ukraine, specifically with respect to the units of wannabe fighters who are going over to Kiev and what is happening to them.
They're finding out that it's not an episode of whatever.
I was reading some of the dispatches from the front from some of these guys who showed up over there, and it sounds like it's they put you right down in the middle of the fighting right away. You just go immediately to the most dangerous places, and a lot of those people are killed within a few days of arriving.
Yeah,
we
got your back.
Yeah, exactly.
because you're out in front.
Well, I mean, isn't this kind of play foolish games, win foolish prizes?
Yes, this is a Darwin. This is a large scale Darwin experiment.
Yeah, I mean, I love all that French Foreign Legion
Mhm.
zest that they have, but this isn't a video game,
No.
and they're about as prepared for this as anybody would be if the deer suddenly stood upright and opened fire when they were sitting up in the blind drinking whiskey. Okay, they're not ready for the big boy permanent nap game. I feel sorry for them. I'm not surprised the Ukrainians are like, yeah, go up there and be a body. Stand in front of me, why don't you?
Well, they're giving them ancient AK-47s that
Yeah.
barely work, old Kalashnikovs that if you don't know what you're doing, you're just going to go there and die. And I understand that some of these guys thought that they would just go get a few pictures of them taken in camouflage with badass looking guns and then get the hell out of there. What's happening is, as soon as they show up, their passports are being taken away from them and shredded, and then they are given a gun and sent to the front lines.
Well, then the
die.
State Department needs to put out a bulletin immediately.
They won't.
Yeah, they won't.
They won't. But I mean, if normal people were in charge,
Adults,
they would. They'd be like,
Yeah.
no. We'll take your passport before you can get on the plane at Logan, dum-dum. You just sit down, Sparky, and let's have a conversation. This is, I mean, look, I understand it's Darwin skimming the pool, but I would prefer to see something in a recognition that this stuff is going on, okay? That the whole goddamn thing is going on in Ukraine out of DC. But other than stupid sound bites and press conferences, nobody seems to be acting the least bit normally about this, which is just fueling all the tinfoil and not so tinfoil theories about what's going on. About how much wag the dog's being played.
Well, I have a hot take on these guys.
All right, what is it?
People only do things for a fairly small number of reasons. Right? So the question is, what is their motivation? Now, maybe they know about, Lord Miles, that guy who just keeps going to all these the English guy.
Yeah.
Who just keeps going to places he shouldn't go and taking pictures and leaving. Maybe he set a bad example. But I think maybe their whole preparation was Googling hot Ukrainian women or something. And then they just looked at pictures, and they're just these beta orbiters who think that either they're going to find some Ukrainian woman who's grateful or come back and then use this for clout to try to impress somebody here.
That's exactly what that is.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it is, Harry.
Because I can't think of another explanation. Because the risk and the reward need to sort of be proximate, in terms of value. And I don't see any other good explanation. They're just beta orbiters who figured they've got nothing to lose. This is a great idea. I'm going to game the system.
But are they being groomed by anybody in this? If you get my drift, and I literally mean groomed, are they being fed a narrative somewhere?
What they're getting from the Ukrainian side is stay the hell away. I'm seeing quite a bit of that coming from the Ukraine doesn't want these guys.
Well, they're a liability to them.
They're clearly a liability.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't want somebody on my ship helping me who did not know how to be a part of a ship's company.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that takes a long time just to train somebody just to get to be at the novice level.
Yeah, you don't want a
Takes
bunch of
it
White
takes most of a year of
Star
a training.
Line executives trying to help you.
White Star Line
White Star.
executives. Good one, Prospero. So, do you guys remember the Amco commercials back in the day, the transmission place? And they had this one where this guy shows up, and there's this the guy's talking about how his car's all busted up, and there's some guy who's got like a slack-jawed yokel look on his face, and he's playing with like a little like a garden hose with one of those little sprayers on the end, just kind of, and a little bit of water's kind of spurting out every time he pulls on this thing because it's one of those gun type things. And the guy says, "Gee, boss, I always wanted to fix a transmission." Whenever I run into somebody who thinks they're going to be helpful but is completely unqualified, I think of that ad.
Amco, MCO.
Yep.
I feel
Remember
so
that.
young right now.
Yeah, jingles were a great way to kind of stick things in people's brains. If you go back and watch, there are a bunch of great commercial. Sorry, I don't mean to change the topic.
No.
But there's a bunch of on YouTube. If you're feeling nostalgic, there's all these great commercial compilations. You can look at commercials from the 60s, 70s, 80s. Or you can look at just like the opening credits to TV shows. And the thing you'll notice is during the 60s and 70s, everybody had a jingle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's Mr. Mouth, the game, Mr. Mouth, you know, everything just sort of stuck in your head because they had the jingles. You know, and the jingles were very memorable. And then I think at some point, there was a smoke-filled room and they just decided, now we're not going to do that anymore. But look at how effective they are. Those of us who are old enough to remember those times remember all these damn jingles.
Or
You know
the
who-
taglines. Little dabble do you?
Yep.
Morphine, little chapel, do you? Yeah. Sorry, it's still a great joke.
Yeah, we took the jingles and the taglines and we turned them into something profane.
Oh shoot, what was I thinking about? The guy who wrote all the a lot of the jingles was a pop song composer named Barry Manilow. Have you ever heard of him? He and of all people, Bette Midler helped him back when they were struggling artists living in New York. You know, just trying to doing anything for bread. They would write jingles. She helped him.
But somebody decided this wasn't a good idea, like we'd grown tired of it. And I don't think the modern commercials are nearly as memorable.
No, they aren't.
No.
I like
imprinting
to
with
teach
music
the world to sing it perfect. I mean,
for
everybody
exactly the reason
remembers
the
that.
reason you remember that. That's it. It imprints on you in a more memorable way.
And that
when
was
there's
an
music.
outstanding commercial because it was this full song with a bunch of people singing it.
Mhm.
And it was actually kind of pretty for a jingle. So we all knew it by the end of a week
Oh yeah.
because it was on a lot, but we never complained when the ad came on.
Hold
We
the
sang
pickles,
along
hold the
with it.
lettuce.
Special orders, donuts, had us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way. Have it
Exactly.
your way. Yeah, I mean, it
Two
is
all beef
boom.
patch, special sausage,
Cheese, pickles, onions, on a sesame seed bun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
if you
it.
can set it to music, you'll remember it.
Yes, and the thing is PEMDAS, whoosh, out the window. Stupid commercial jingles, my buddies. 2:00 in the morning, I'll sit up and go, call Roto Rooter, that's the way. Yeah, and,
And
but
the
it'll
way
be
Troubles down the drain.
just, but it's the damnedest thing how this stuff is stuck.
I'm just not sure why they went away, because it seems like it was really effective.
Maybe people were singing the songs and not buying the products, but no, but I mean, all those things were wildly popular
Yeah, in their time.
in their time. Yeah.
Atlantic
Now fast
actually
forward
wrote something.
commercials. I don't want
Who killed,
commercials.
who killed the jingle? Marketing ditties once had a distinctive hokey sound, but today's advertisers have ditched them for standard pop songs. So instead of the actual jingles anymore, what they do is they buy the right to use somebody's pop song in their, thing, and so we don't have the best part of waking up as Folgers in your cup or being I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Mhm.
Instead, we have Victoria's Secret advertising with some Beyonce thing or a Bob Dylan track, or a Kanye West song is playing for Bud Light Platinum. Lady Gaga is playing for Kia. I'm just looking through some of these things, And Oscar Mayer has decided to retire. My baloney has a first name.
It's OSCAR.
And I wish I was an Oscar Mayer winner.
Damn.
Retiring both of those. Yep.
The second one, actually, we completely destroyed at some point.
Well, anyway, what the ad exec who was in charge of that account said was, what we did not want to do was write new jingles.
Yep. And also you have the Capitol Records crowds cross-promoting. Push. Product placement.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about product placement. Movies, you're inundated with it. It's just so obnoxious. It's like, oh, look, there's a Pepsi can. It's glaring, but they do it anyway. I have to leave. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's midnight. I was thinking that
It's at 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's kind of winding down as it is, and I was going to cut it early tonight too because I am just shot and I want to get to bed. So, did anybody have anything else they wanted to bring up before we call it an evening?
Nothing that won't wait till Saturday.
Going. All right. Dawn,
Hopefully, wish my kids a safe flight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not there yet.
Do hope they're safe and they have a safe return home and all that stuff. Seriously. But anyway, I do want to thank everybody for coming out and listening to us. Thank you. It's nice to see Addie and Kefke in chat this evening. A lot of Costins there, Kiever Dam, Sora, of course. Thank you guys for coming out and listening to us. We enjoy doing this, but we do it for you. And thank you to my panel, my friends, for getting together with me and spending a little bit of your evening with me. And we're going to close it down for tonight. And we'll do this again tomorrow night with a different host. Same Minions channel, but different host. And
Different time.
It'll be Hammer Time, and we can't afford that song.
Exactly. Anyway, the zoo is closed, guys. Thanks for coming by and spending some time with us.
Good night.
Night.